Well, hello everybody. It's Monday night again, and I know we're a little early this week. And thanks to my guests, we could do this a little early because we have to go do something later with Madhouse. And our guest was kind enough to allow us to go a little early, which, Rich, we thank you very much.
My pleasure. I really go to sleep early. That's why I did it.
What happened there? Anyway. We have a very, very special show tonight. Very different show. But if you have kids or grandkids, get them by the computer now, because this is going to be something that is definitely going to be a big part of their future. And finally, for a good reason, because I believe in this man's concept like nobody else. Something that's needed so badly, it's unbelievable. Before we start, I want to send out a great thank you for Vince Martell and Peg Pearl for last week. They were absolutely phenomenal in the Madhouse. They came in, they played acoustically. Vince, of course, you know, is the lead guitarist from the Villa Fudge, fourth greatest guitar riff in the world by Guitar Magazine. And what a great man, great countryman. I mean, he has done more for the vets than God. I mean, that's all he does is like work for the vets. He's such a great guy, a loving person, a believer in God. I mean, definitely a guy you want in your foxhole with you. That's for sure. So Vincent Peg, we thank you so much. And just to let you guys know, next week, part 2, Vince Martell back in the Madhouse with the Maverick Soul next Monday night. So, big treat. Back again, part 2 with Vince Martell and Peg Pearl, right here with Madhouse TV. So, we're going to go to a little break, and we're going to come back, and I am going to introduce you guys. And like I told you now, all you guys get the kids and get the grandkids in the room, because they're going to want to see this. And I really want to hear the responses from the parents and grandparents after they see what we're going to be talking about. I want a lot of feedback, okay? So please do that for us. Hang in there. Get yourself tight. We'll be right back with the Maverick Soul. Stay tight.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
Hey, I'm Tom Mealy. I'm with Madhouse TV. This guy just walked up the steps. I don't know what is the story with you?
I'm comedian Frank Prince.
Hey, what the hell do you want here?
I want my own reality TV show.
You think you're funny enough?
Hell yeah.
Well, how much money you got?
Short arms and deep pockets.
You think you can make it?
I'm the Myron J. Show.
You think?
I think.
All right.
I know.
We're going to give him a shot this spring here on Madhouse TV. Tune in and wait for
Frank Prince, the Myron J. Show.
There you go. We'll see you this spring. We got a ton of new shows coming up. My pal Frank Prince, great comedian. Wait to see him. Tune in to Madhouse TV this spring. Have a wonderful day.
Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC.
The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan. Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware.
We have 3 of the largest showrooms of safes on display and in stock. You can see and touch them in person instead of browsing a catalog. We carry gun and rifle safes, burglary safes, jewelry safes, fire rated from a half hour to 2 hour. Famous name brands.
We sell Gardol.
We sell AMSAC.
The new AMSAC touchscreen.
If you're ever in need of a safe, think Brooklyn's best locksmith and hardware. Right, Lockie?
That's right, Alan.
You know you already want a Toyota, but when you want more from your Toyota store, you want Smithtown Toyota, where every Toyota comes with Smithtown Toyota's Toyota for Life program, giving you lifetime New York State inspections, lifetime 10% discounts on all parts and service, 2 years of complimentary oil changes, 2 years of scheduled maintenance, and more, all at no cost to you, plus low clear-out deals on every Toyota in stock. Get more from your Toyota store. Hurry to Smithtown Toyota.
We are back with the Maverick Soul, and I did forget 2 people, so let me get them in. I also want to thank Neville Chesters and Michelangelo for coming in last week and just hanging out with Vince and everything. It was a great night. It was really nice to have a bunch of great friends together. Very quaint and very nice, and the show was beautiful, vocally and musically. I mean, we all still talk at how beautiful the music was. It was great. And thank you, Vince, and Neville and Michelangelo for popping in and helping us out a little bit. So, ladies and gentlemen, I now want to introduce you to the future because I totally believe that this is the future. And I guess I want to start like this, though. I want to explain something. I have 6 grandsons, okay? They live with me, all right? I have them from 16 down to 1. So you can imagine I watch a lot of, I'm not a big cartoon person. Even when I was a kid, I wasn't. Like I told Rich, I liked Top Cat and the Jetsons, and that was a little Flintstones. That was about it. But Top Cat I liked because they were like hanging out in the alley, and they were like badasses, you know. But cartoons today, I watch them with my grandkids, and I mean, they got heads like big boxes and little tiny hats, and I try to get it, and I just can't get it. And educationally wise, is that a word? It is for me. I just don't get it. I don't really see what's out there to really guide kids. Because I watch it, I get very confused. I mean, I don't think I look at like the 1-year-olds, and like they look at you, and then they look at this guy with this gigantic square head or something, and I just don't get it. Now, I had met Rich, and my guest tonight is Rich Sirgiovanni, and please put him on camera because there he is.
Well, thanks, Tommy. Thanks.
And I just want to finish, and we met Rich a few weeks ago, and he came into the studio and talked with us, and he told us about his dream and his concept of something that he has created over the years. And being a musician, my ears just flickered right up. And being a grandfather, even more so, because I got to tell you, I can't watch these things. I really can't watch these things. And I'm going to let Rich kind of tell the story, and we're going to go from the beginning. But what captured my heart with his dream is that finally we're going to actually have these characters that are actually like real people living in a real world, not so much a real world, but a fantasy world, but where you can relate to it. And not only will it bring music back, because now the schools are taking music out, they're taking sports out, they're taking everything that's good out. I mean, education's wonderful, but you know, I got to tell you, my best memories from school are playing sports. I still have all the same friends I played Little League with. We still talk about Little League games, musicians that I played with, bands I was in the 7th grade, dances that we played and things that happened. I got to tell you, I took more from that than trigonometry or geometry or anything like that. So this is why I think this is so important. I think the timing is so right. And I think what he's come up with is such a great, great thing, not even idea, a thing for the kids of today. Because I don't think the kids are getting what they deserve. I think the kids nowadays are getting cheated. I think when you take music out of schools, and when you take sports out of schools, and now they're looking to make schools an extra 2 hours. I mean, I know, I see this homework because I help them do it. I mean, 2nd grade, I'm lost with the math. I'm lost. I'm not joking. I'm lost. And I'm not stupid. I am very good with numbers. I just don't understand their theory of teaching it. But this is something that's going to be so good, and it's going to be fun for them. So, Rich, why don't we go back to the beginning, to how this all started and where it came in your head and why did you do it? I know you were a musician,
right?
And you still ponder around a little bit.
Still play drums.
He's very musically knowledgeable. I can tell you that. He knows all the groups. He knows all the bands. He knows a lot of the people I know. He's definitely on board with the music. So, tell me.
Well, thanks. It kind of started with me as a kid also. I mean, it was like any other kid growing up watching TV. And pretty much first you're talking about watching Top Cat and shows like that. Kind of first generation of watching these cartoons on television in the mid and early 60s when TV was pretty much a new invention, and they started to fill Saturday morning and at 4 o'clock with cartoons. So I grew up watching like everyone else, and probably around the same time my other bug bit me when I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan for the first time. And not knowing it at the time, I think that's where I started with the two loves, which was music and cartooning. And like any other kid, started to play drums, started to draw pictures, went through my course of life, went through high school, was a cartoonist on the newspapers, started playing in high school bands, playing the dance circuits.
So you always did draw?
Always drew since I was 10 years old, and started like any other kid, started just copying what you saw in the newspapers and Charlie Brown and Marvel Comics. I was a big fan of.
Draw this?
Oh, yeah. Draw Winky and win the contest at the back. And I did that like everybody else. And then I just kept doing it and started playing drums and playing in high school dances. And we ended up going to art school, the School of Visual Arts, and pursued the music as I went through that part of my life. And I was fortunate enough, I studied cartooning with Harvey Kurtzman in School of Visual Arts, and he was the creator of Mad Magazine. Oh. And that was a wonderful experience. And then I just kept going and playing in bands, and in the 70s during the punk era, playing, and we were not in a punk band. We were, the opposite. Melodic music, 4- or 5-part harmonies, but we played Max's Kansas City and CBGB's and that whole era, and kept going and kept pursuing it through my career until about 3 years ago. I was needing to do another type of project, and I wanted to do something creative, and I said, I'm going to do something where I can combine my two loves. So I started to think about a project that I could make for kids and incorporate, rock and roll music. So I didn't want it just to be about a rock band.
Right.
It was done. It wasn't done well. And I started to develop an idea because I wanted it to be magical and mystical for the kids. And I had a backstory about these 5 minstrels that lived 500 years ago, say in the days of Robin Hood. Right. And they were celebrities of their time, but there was a wicked wizard named Spectre who was jealous of them. So what does he do? He curses them to be banished for eternity into the forest and never be seen of again. Until 500 years later, their friend that was along with them, named Magic Alex, finds a temporary spell to turn them back to humans, but only from sunset to sunrise. So now we have this dual life scenario, and they're known as the Grimps, and they resurface to become this pop rock sensation playing music in today's world. So it started from there.
So basically they are like rock people nowadays, where they live by night and
well,
sleep by day.
That's why the storyline worked out well, because they could surface as being humans at night and turn into and be musicians, and then
cool.
And in the day they transform back, and we have storylines that are, how do they live this dual life, and where do they hide, and how do they live, and so it started to develop from there.
Right. Well, I think the thing that intrigues me about it is that number one, it shows a camaraderie amongst this group.
Yep.
And it shows them, which will show the kids of today, something that they don't really get to see. I mean, because, you know, like I said, the cartoons that are out, I just don't get. This will actually be something they can relate to, and it can actually drive them towards, you know, something. It doesn't even have to be in music. A dream of theirs, you know.
Right,
I mean,
right.
It can actually get them the motivation and you know, to go forward and to pursue what they're looking to do. Where, you know, what's happening now is I think everything's being taken away from them.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, it is being. It's not.
Well,
you know, I really don't understand this lottery, and I hate to really go like in this direction, but I got to say it. I think there should be a reporter out there like Geraldo Rivero did with the mental institution to investigate the lottery money. I would really like to see somebody really go into this and see what is going on with this lottery money, because as far as I was told, and everybody else in this country, it was going to be used for schools.
I don't
All
see
you
it.
see is schools being closed and sports and music being stopped and the arts and everything else. I think somebody should step up and look at that one, because there's some bad stuff going on.
Well, I totally agree with you. We have to support the arts, and you know, I was always a big supporter in that. And one of the intentions of the Grimps is to, you know, really to promote to the kids storylines in the episodes that are about positive things and you know, having fun and good messages. And you're a musician, you're in a band. There's nothing like, you know, being in a group, being part of a team.
Mental institution,
but the friendship and the fun that comes from and people pulling together, and there's nothing like that. And I experienced that, so I kind of wanted to bring that part of it in a subtle way.
That's why I respect you so much, because I do. That's why I believed in the concept of this so much, is because it is something we both lived through.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not something made up in a fantasy land. I mean, you might have added a little flickers here and there of fantasy, but the concept standing still in the middle, the nucleus of it, is the camaraderie, and you know, these are things that we actually did.
And how and how people work together, and how people, you know, you could have disagreements, which most bands do. But if you're truly friends and you're going after that one goal, regardless if you achieve it or not, you can go through it and have fun and have great experiences in life. I stopped playing in bands over 20 years ago. I still play, but I have fond memories, and all those bad nights went away. But all the good memories.
Sit in with my band.
I'd love it.
Anytime
I'd love it.
you want.
But so the intention, you know, started in that, and then also, you know, I appreciate all music. I truly do.
Yeah, I do.
But I love, you know, rock and roll music and contemporary music, and I really wanted to start to bring, you know, what classic rock was back in today's world. So that's part of the plan of the Grimps, is to reintroduce kids to rock and roll, because you listen to Top 40 radio now, you very rarely hear it for what's coming out.
And not just that, and I have this conversation with lots of different people. And you know, when you look at the big picture of music, still the biggest selling people, Stones, The Who. I mean, these are the ones selling out the Coliseums and big arenas.
It's true.
And, you know, these are, I mean, you know, the Beavers and all that, or whatever they are, you know, they'll sell. But I mean, that's a minority really nowadays. I mean, even the big names in music can't sell out. They can't sell 50,000 seats. The Stones could sell 2 million seats. I mean, if Zeppelin ever got together, would they blow up 9 computers the first as soon as they blew them up?
Right.
I mean, so that's the need, and there is a want for this out there. There's
Absolutely,
no question about it.
absolutely.
And I think by you bringing it back and getting it to the youth, I think is such a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And I'm really, really behind you 1,000%.
Thank you.
And we're going to go to a quick commercial because I'm getting the evil look over there. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we're going to talk, and we're going to meet some of these characters. Wait till you see it. So get the kids ready. And again, I want the feedback. So you got the Maverick Soul here. Stay tight. We'll be right back.
Old Spice body spray will make you feel so powerful to blow your mind right in front of your face. Goodbye. Oh no! Power!
Automatic freshness, softness, and static control has never been easier with the Bounce Dryer Bar. I just stick it to the inside of my dryer, and I never have to remember.
Oh, Old Spice body spray makes you smell like power! It's so powerful it sells itself in other people's commercials. You smell like outdoor freshness.
You smell like power.
Yeah, I do. Power! Power!
Try this routine to feel fresh and clean. Pair Charmin Fresh Mates with your Charmin.
Oh, Old Spice body spray is too powerful to stay in its own commercial. That's right. Power!
When your cable's on the fritz, you get frustrated. When you get frustrated, your daughter imitates. When your daughter imitates, she gets thrown out of school. When she gets thrown out of school, she meets undesirables. When she meets undesirables, she ties the knot with undesirables. And when she ties the knot with undesirables, you get a grandson with a dog collar. Don't have a grandson with a dog collar. Get rid of cable and upgrade to DirecTV. Call 1-800-DirecTV. When your cable company keeps you on hold, you get angry.
We are back, and I apologize if you didn't hear my little rant there. I don't know where we lost it, but my little button fell off my jacket here, so I lost my microphone. So what we were talking about was how I respect what he did by trying to bring back what was good in our lives, which really, there's not really a lot to look up to today, musically, in my opinion. But, I mean, for cartoons and that, what a great way for your kids to sit down and actually learn something. Not only are they learning, like, hey, let's put a band together or something, but they're also learning how to be friends, the camaraderie of being friends, how to get along with each other, how each one intertwines with each other, and how they protect one another. And I mean, I think we should maybe start with getting into some of these characters of where they came out of your head, and
when I started to develop the idea, part of this project was with the Grimps was for it to be a tribute to rock and roll.
Right.
And there's a lot of subtleties there that I think the classic rock generation, our generation, would pick up on, and not necessarily the kids, but it doesn't matter because it's just fun. So I started to develop the four main Grimps. The band is four of them, and then they have a friend who's their sort of manager and wizard, and started it out to be with, so we have Winston. Well, there we go. That's Spectre. Spectre is the evil wizard, and Spectre was the person who was jealous and cursed them into be banished for 500 years until the spell was reversed.
Can we see him again? I know we need the backdrop, but
that's Spectre.
There we go. See, I love wizards. I even have one here. See?
There you go. You got to get one of him.
See
on
my
there.
wizard?
Hey, nice wizard.
I love wizards. So he's the guy who...
He's the guy that cursed them and banished them for 500 years, thinking that he could, just get them out of the picture.
Right.
Okay.
Do we have a next character? Okay.
And that is Mac. Mac in his daytime appearance when they are cursed, because they are from sunrise to sunset. This is what they look like. And that's Mac in the evening. Mac is the bass player.
Oh, they actually changed physical appearance too.
Right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, when they were cursed, they were not only they were banished, they were cursed to these ugly little monsters.
Oh, so by
that I
see
call
that I
Grimps.
didn't. Okay.
Now just a quick story behind Grimps is that when I developed the name, I broke the name down and I was going, well, they're kind of gruesome, and they're kind of impish, and I started playing with the words, and I came up with Grimm.
I love
Short
it.
and sweet, and something for the kids and everyone else to know.
Great, great. Can we go to the next one?
And that is Emerson. Emerson.
Oh, boy, some of these names, like I'm having
they
a
sound
flashback.
familiar. Well, I'll tell you about that. And that's Emerson as a musician in his human form, who's keyboard.
So this is
guitar
at
and
night.
vocals.
This is them at night.
When the sun sets, they transform, kind of like the Wolfman would transform.
Cool.
They transform every night back to humans.
I
they
love
get
it.
to play. They
Love
now
it.
come out in public as a rock and roll band. And,
all right. Next.
Let's see who's next. And that's Winston in his daytime appearance.
John Lennon's middle name.
You're catching on there. And there's Winston as a human.
Very, very good.
And
I
then
love
our last, that's back to Winston. And our last one is our drummer, Mooney. Oh, that's Magic Alex. Magic Alex is the only one who's not a musician. He's their friend, their manager, and their wizard that helped to find the temporary spell to turn them back into humans. And his quest throughout the whole show, as one of his things, is always trying to find the spell that'll permanently bring them back to humans. And there he is in his human form. And our last one of the 5 main is Mooney, and there's Mooney in the daytime.
Mooney, huh?
Mooney, yeah, I'll get on that in a moment.
Who?
And,
Who?
Mooney.
Who?
Who? Yeah, good segue. And there he is in his human form. And Mooney's the drummer.
Is he a little crazy?
Mooney's is the loose wire of the bunch.
There you go.
He is the wild man, the one that they have to watch because he's always getting in trouble. But as you referred to about the names sounding familiar, part of the tribute to rock and roll is that a lot of the characters in many of them are names for people that come from rock and roll in all different eras.
Right.
So,
well, I notice you have Mac, which could be
Paul McCartney.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I would have got one right. Winston, would
Winston,
that be
which
John
is
Lennon?
a little harder one, unless you're a Beatle fanatic, is John Lennon's middle name.
Emerson, Lake and Palmer.
Keith Emerson, who's actually shown interest in this project, and
Mooney,
which
we
is
know.
Keith Moon from The Who, and Spector, the Wizard. I think we all know who Spector is.
Yes, we do.
And it goes
He
on.
has
it goes
bad
on
hair.
from there, and it goes on from there.
But built the Great Wall of Sound.
Yeah, the Wall of Sound, and Magic Alex, which was a bizarre character.
I love the names. I think it's great. I think it's great. And now, what do they do during the day?
Well, what do they do? Well, our storylines are, which episodes would be, there'll be some of them where they're
you said
in
they were put in a forest or something?
They hide out in this forest, in this hideaway little a cave and huts that they live in.
So they're kind of trollish in the day and live like trolls?
So their daytime world is, what they do. It could be a storyline that relates to, because they technically are humans. They're just in this form.
Right.
So it's it's still about music. It's about writing songs.
So they do that during the day also.
Yeah, it's about everyday
cool.
situations, and how do they survive? And Magic Alex constantly looking for the spell to permanently change them. But we have a character in the storyline who's the only human who is their friend and knows their secret, who becomes their liaison to the outside world. And his name is Domo. I think we have him up there. He's tall. There he is. Now, he's a very, very loyal and very, very sort of slow type of person who helps them.
Oh, I know him.
It's kind of like Herman Munster and Rocky Balboa, kind of like combined. But he is the liaison to the daytime world and brings them around to the gigs and gets them in the van and hides
So
them.
he's always in that form?
He's a human that they found who, as in a storyline in one of the episodes that we wrote, and he's a constant character that helps watch over them and get them around.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. I think it is such a wonderful, wonderful wonderful idea. And we have a couple little things we can show them, right? We can tease them a little bit, right?
Sure.
Don't we have a music thing?
We have a little our theme song.
Janine, do we have the theme song there?
Winston, Mac, Emerson, and Mooney, clap your hands, everybody sing. Winston, Mac, Emerson, and Mooney, clap your hands, everybody shout. We're the Grimps, we're the band, playing where we can. We're the Grimps, we're the band, playing one night stands. Come along and sing our song, we're gonna rock it all night long. Here we come, we're on the move, now come on, let's go, it's time for fun. Here we come, we're in the groove, now come on, let's go, calling everyone. We're the Grimps, we're the band, coming to your town. We're the Grimps, we're the band, you can't keep a good band down. Come along and sing our song, we're gonna rock it all night long. We're the Grimps. Winston, Mac, Emerson, and Mooney, clap your hands, everybody sing. Winston, Mac, Emerson, and Mooney, clap your hands, everybody shout. We're the Grimps, we're the band, playing where we can. We're the Grimps, we're the band, playing one night stands. Come along and sing our song, we're gonna rock it all night long. We're the Grimps.
Well, now you can see what I'm talking about. This is something that children can relate to. They can actually see a person rather than a whatever these things are. I don't know. Some have little heads. I have no idea what's going on with it. But this is something, I mean, to me, it's something very relatable for kids to be able to just sit, especially like little 1 and 2 and 3-year-olds, and better as you go. But even a little kid can look at it and say, oh, like, hey, I know what that is, as opposed to, I never seen what is that thing, you know what I mean? I just don't, I don't get it. I'm sorry, I'll say that all night, but I don't get it. But while the song was on, Rich was telling me that there is a, I'm getting a look over here, but you did want to touch on
the
song and who wrote it. And
yeah, that song, We're the Grimps, the title of it, is going to be the show's theme song. And this little story behind it for people that might remember, I was fortunate enough to work with and had Ron Dante and Freddie Boom Boom Cannon write that song for me. And Ron Dante was the voice of Sugar Sugar with the Archies, which was the number one.
They're still around.
Yeah, but the #1 song in 1969.
Yeah.
And Ron and Freddie Cannon, Freddie who did Palisades Park and a slew of other hits in the 60s.
Brings me back to the prom.
Yeah, I wrote that song. And, I listened to and reviewed a lot of different songs of the theme song. And I knew it needed to be something that was kind of universal, peppy, punchy. And I loved it, and we recorded it, and I'm really happy with it.
I think it's great. And also, Rich was telling me that, down the road, when this develops and everything, he will be bringing in major rock people to do, whether it be characters or songs or, and God, that is such a great idea.
It was really cool, and I was really happy with the response, and it really encouraged me that, this idea is universal. And one of my ideas for the project, separate from the music for a moment, was that I thought it would be really cool that if some of the voiceover characters, even just as guest stars, would be, from the rock and roll world and icons from all different eras. And to date, people like Keith Emerson from Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and Todd Rundgren, and Peter Noon, and Eric Burden, and Mickey Dolenz have all loved this and said, when you get the show, we would love to work with you. And if I can add my musical
Peter
talent.
Noon would be great.
Right. Yeah, Peter was the first one that I actually sat down with. He was playing here in Long Island a couple of years ago, and we sat down, and he was really encouraged. And and here I am. I'm getting to meet and talk to these guys that I watched on. Now I'm going to date myself, Hullabaloo or Ed Sullivan,
Shindig,
or at the scalping a ticket at the Garden, the CELP, and watching
Fillmore.
them. And here, and these guys were very, very interested in it.
But wasn't that the greatest time of music? I mean, to me,
really
like
was.
'67. I remember, constantly going into the Village, Cafe Wad, Electric Circus, and all these Purple Onion, and all these great Max's Kansas City. Well, I was in the '70s.
Great era.
I mean, I used to see John Lennon all the time in Max's Kansas City. I'd walk into CBGB's, Andy Warhol would be in there. Everybody and they were just, nobody bothered them, It was really very cool
you
time.
look back, a really great era of the 60s and the 70s, and nothing taken away from what happened after that or even today.
And don't you even think, though, like now that music stores are gone, that even that's kind of taken away. Like, didn't you love going to music stores?
Oh, you knew
stores,
when somebody
Sam Goody's or
when
Tower
was
or whatever
releasing the album, and you went there on the first day to get it, and you got to go through the bins and you touched them, and then CDs took away from album art.
Right, and then it was like, who, like if you were a Beatles guy or a Hermits or a Stones guy, like the rougher guys would be with the Stars or Stones or Sissies. Like my sister had all the Peter, the Hermits,
right.
and I'd have all the Stones and, all that stuff. And it was like that thing going, but.
Well, I was very fortunate.
That was a great part. And, and really, even the coffee shops and, the egg creams and everything, that was just.
It was definitely.
It was a great time.
It was a great time, great music. As you said before about some of the bands, the only bands that really can sell out arenas now are the ones from that era.
That's right. And we're losing them every day.
Of them
and we're losing them every day.
So
but
part of this project was to
you're
try
bringing them back.
Try to not only bring some of them back, which is I'm delighted if I can get them to work with us in certain cases, but develop something new. I mean, part of the plan is. And I thought about it when I thought about the Monkees when the TV show came out, was that they presented original music by what was supposed to be a goofy TV show, and they produced some of the greatest stuff of its era.
Without a
so
doubt.
the Grimps, our plan is to do the same thing. I've been fortunate to meet with John Boylan, who produced the Eagles and the Boston album, and Jack Douglas, who does Aerosmith and did Lennon and plenty of other stuff. I think he just finished doing Mickey Mars's new album. Wants to produce the Grimps music in the studio, and we'll see what happens when we get to the next step. But Jack had said, I want to teach kids about rock and roll again, and not old. I don't want it to be old. I want it to be contemporary. But there's nothing.
I mean, I'll give you an
example.
I'll give you an example of why I think it's going to be big, and a perfect example of this was this Guitar Hero, whatever it was.
Yeah, big
game
a few years
all
ago.
of a sudden now, they want to be Van Halen, they want to be, Led Zeppelin, they want to be The Who, they don't want to be Justin, no offense, Justin Bieber or, but that's, I mean, that's what they want to play. So it's still there, the interest is still there, it's just a matter of bringing it to them on a platter, which you're kind of doing. And, I mean, also I think the singing shows are bringing it back too, because a lot of rockers go on there, and they seem to do very well. I mean, Daltrey, I mean, look at, he came out of nowhere, and look at that, look how big he got. And, there's a few great singers there. And I being a musician also, and I get to meet a lot of kids, like the kids of or grandkids of friends and guys in the bands and stuff. And when we at Madhouse go and we do shows, CD releases or whatever it is, we get to meet some of the kids in that. And and you can see where their interest is. It's not in that other stuff.
You're absolutely right.
I mean, they want to learn to play like Jimmy Page. That's what they want to be John Bonham. You know what I mean? That's what they want. I mean, it's there for the taking, and I think what you're doing is introducing them in a nice, calm, beautiful way, from a young age. Yeah,
I've been really encouraged that I'm finding that the fan base on Facebook, if anybody wants to know more about the Grimps, go to the Grimps.
Get it out there, Rich. Get it out there.
We're getting fans from 6 to 60. We're getting from all around the world, from Egypt and from everywhere. And I'm finding that the kids of all ages, I got 3 kids in their 20s, and if I go scour through their iPod, I hear Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin.
Thank you.
And, and they're listening to some of the newer stuff, too, that they like.
Well, that's okay.
But, yeah, of course, it's great. But there really is a true appreciation, and it's really bringing the generations together. Because I can talk to them about, I start to sound, I go, when I heard this song came out, I was 16. But they love it like it was just yesterday.
Well, and another perfect example of it clashing was, and I know you'll know what I'm talking about, when Run DMZ brought Aerosmith back from the doldrums of
absolutely right.
death. They were gone.
Aerosmith had, I think, their best run as a band from that point on.
No question.
Yeah.
No question.
They made some of their best albums.
I mean, you think about simple things like I've said this a million times, and I don't think people really grab it either, too. I think Dan Aykroyd and John Belushi were so not even apart. They were the only part of bringing back Aretha Franklin, James Brown, all those guys, Wilson Pickett.
Ray Charles.
They were done.
Yep.
Well, Ray Charles, I think, was just like an American folk guy.
He's an icon,
he'd always be around. But like when James Brown did the Blues Brothers thing, and then he did with Rocky, Only in America or whatever.
Right. That's right.
It's all going to intertwine, and it's all going to. And what's great was when you do get the now and then together, you're getting a new product again, which is what we want. We want something new. We want something new, and we want to constantly have something new. So we're going to take a quick break. I'm loving this conversation with my man Rich here.
Thanks.
I think he's got a great thing going, and we'll be right back with the Maverick Soul. Hang in there. Keep the kiddies watching. We'll be right back with the Maverick. Hang in there.
One resident describes her horrifying experience when she first realized the complex was on fire.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Well, I woke up to go give me a cold pop. Then I thought somebody was barbecuing. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Then I ran out. I didn't grab no shoes or nothing. Jesus, I ran for my life. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Jesus, 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 it's a fire. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. I said, oh Lord Jesus, it's a fire. Jesus, 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 Jesus. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time. Ain't nobody got time for that.
For professional motorcycle transport and towing, think Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing. Proudly serving all of Long Island, we feature expert handling and 24/7 service. So send a limo for your toy with Kickstart Fabrications Motorcycle Towing.
Hey, I'm Tom Mealy. I'm with Madhouse TV. This guy just walked up the steps. I don't know what is the story with you.
I'm comedian Frank Prince.
Hey, what the hell do you want here?
I want my own reality TV show.
You think you're funny enough?
Hell yeah.
Well, how much money you got?
Short arms and deep pockets.
You think you can make it?
I'm the Myron J. Show.
You think?
I think.
All right.
I know.
We're going to give him a shot this spring here on Madhouse TV. Tune in and wait for
Frank Prince, the Myron J. Show.
There you go. We'll see you this spring. We got a ton of new shows coming up. My pal Frank Prince, great comedian. Wait to see him. Tune in to Madhouse TV this spring. Have a wonderful day.
We are back live in the Madhouse, and I got to tell you, this is one of my favorite shows that I've ever done. I really believe in Rich's his whole deal here. The whole package is just so right for now. I think it's I can't say enough about it. And I really I said it before, but please, especially you Woodstock people that know me, feed me some info what you guys think. I want to know your opinion because. I know if you have kids or you have grandkids and you're watching the cartoons with them, I know you're probably with me going, what in the name of God is this? So maybe we could show a few more clips. Do we have a couple more clips over there and Rich can explain what's happening? Oh. Is that a call for us?
There's one of our characters. He's a secondary character in the storyline. Everybody needs, the good and bad, and he's one of the bad. He's the paparazzi photographer.
Ah.
His name is Greenie. And
that's great.
In the beginning of the season, he tried to get a shot of the Grimps and stood outside the concert hall and actually fell asleep without his camera and saw them actually transform, but he didn't get a picture. So he is... his ongoing quest is to try to get a shot of them transforming and breaking their secret and sell it to one of the supermarket tabloids. So kind of like,
kind of like the real world.
Yeah, and Wild E. Coyote and the Roadrunner.
Ask Princess Di.
Yeah.
Well, do we have a phone call? We do. All right, let's take this phone call. You ready for a phone call?
Oh, a phone call, sure.
You got the Maverick Soul. Hello? You got the Maverick Soul.
Hey, Tommy, it's Matt.
Matt Levine?
Matt Levine.
What is going on, brother?
Nothing. What's going on, kiddo? I love this concept of the Grimps. I just wanted to ask him, Bobby, how did he get the name the Grimps?
I made the name up. It basically... gruesome and impish, and I was playing around with words, and I wanted something short and sweet, and from that I just...
Kind of like you, Matt. Gruesome and impish.
Gruesome and impish. I've been called a lot of things before, but I just want to say it's a great thing. It's such a great idea.
Now,
so
I got to tell you, I actually know him, and he's going to be on the show at the end of the month with a new CD. But what I like the reason he's calling, he's a music teacher.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, Matt, as a music teacher, what do you think about this idea?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's it gives the kids another dimension, another way to learn. Because I think they should start young. I think what they're doing is a great tool. It's a great learning tool. It visually captures the essence of learning music.
Right.
And very few people have touched on that. And I think it's just a great idea. And I wish you, like Tommy said, I teach, and it's, if I could dress up like a clown or Barney, it would be kind of hard to play the guitar and teach at the same time. But I think what you guys are hit on something that's really never been done before in teaching. I truly believe that. I've been watching it. I've been listening to you and all the different people that you're going to have come and do voiceovers and stuff. I think it's excellent. I think it really will define it and give teaching. It's almost like a new genre of teaching.
I agree with you. I am such a believer in this, and I think it's good, clean fun too, as the Allman Brothers say.
Right, which very rarely, because nowadays you go, a parent parent brings the child to the music studio to lesson, it's all like it's so formal. It's so formal. That's why I do it out of my house. I have the parents come down. I offer them coffee or whatever they want. And then they leave their children here. We teach and we have fun. But I don't have I think that's such a great idea. It's just I think it would be they'd be apt to learn more through visual stimulation as just having someone like me per se say, okay,
I agree.
Here's an A chord, and here's what a 1-4-5 looks like. Even I would learn something from the Grimm.
I agree. I absolutely, positively could not agree with you more.
I just wish you guys all the best of success. I really do. And if there's anything that the Matt and Amy Band could do or myself could do to help you out, because I'm all about teaching. It's all about passing on the gift of music. I feel we're lucky to be in this business. We're lucky to do the things that we love to do. Why not pass it on? And you guys really take that passing on the music to like a whole nother level. And for me as a teacher, I thank you 100%, and I'm 100% behind you in all your endeavors.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
That's very nice.
Right,
and actually, Matt will be on the end of this month with his new CD release right here with the Maverick Soul.
I'll be
watching.
And even the Maverick Soul's on a couple of the singles.
That's right. Tommy sings on a few of the tracks.
That's right. All right. Thank you, my brother.
Brother, I love you, Tommy.
Love you, too. Talk to you soon.
Give my love to Janine.
I will.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, there's a music teacher that's on board with it, and that's a nice thing. That's a good thing. That's positive.
I like
that's how I feel. What he was saying is kind of how I feel. It's another avenue, and not only that. You could start something without firing a shot. I mean, just a kid watching that rather than the parents pushing him towards music. This could get them in the right direction. I know with my grandsons, I bought every instrument there is to buy. I don't say anything. They're just there. I have a big Hammond organ. I have banjos. I have, you name it, I have it. Electric guitars, bass guitars, harmonicas, congas, everything. And no one's picking up anything.
Not yet.
Something like this is great.
Well, I'm hoping that's just another thing. If we can encourage kids to learn,
this will encourage kids.
Sing or pick up an instrument because they find that, and it's kind of like what all our heroes in music were. We got inspired and made us pick it up. I mean,
I think you're going to be a major pioneer. I really truly do.
We have so much to do, but I'm looking forward to doing it.
Don't worry about it.
And no, I'm not worried about that at all.
You're going to be all right.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Do we have any other clips, Janine, that we can roll here?
This is the Grimms on their Rolling Stone cover when that happened. So that's their photo shoot. And there's a lot of random pictures here.
Well, let's go through them and you can explain. We got about 5 minutes left.
A lot of these were just drawn in for the purpose of just trying to show more about them. Here they are on stage.
Very cool.
On stage again.
See, that's so relatable. It's so relatable, especially now with these singing shows and that. They will be able to relate to this stuff.
And
it's
we have
wonderful.
planned. There's Mooney on drums. Madman of rock and roll.
He's got to knock him down so Neville can pick him up.
But we have plans, actually, to bring this into a live performance. Oh, that's the Grimms Cave, where they actually where they hide out in the forest as one of their places to live in the daytime. And there's a collage of all the characters on the bottom, what they look like in the day, them as musicians, and a bunch of the other characters that are part of it. The show has a lot more characters that are developed that would be in episodes later on, all various
This
people.
should be easy scripts for you to write. You've lived it, right? Anybody
well, part of it
in
is,
a band?
As far as music, but like the essence of it is, morals and friendship.
That's you mentioned the magic word, morals.
Yeah, in his lair, in his laboratory, where he day after day is one of his functions.
Very cool.
So
Very cool.
there's so much to it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And
it's already fun for me.
Yeah.
I'm
I
really
can't wait to
enjoying
see them come alive, which is what the
It
next
will
step
happen.
is, and animate them and get the voices behind the pictures and get in a studio and start recording some original music. It's
Well,
be a blast.
We can help you out there.
Okay.
We have some connections.
Yeah, do you?
I have a couple bands that might be interested. But
it's going to be a fun project, and everybody, if you're watching, you could go to the website at thegrimps.com where you can hear the theme song, and check us out on Facebook, and we're at on Twitter at the Grimps, and you get a little bit updates and to know what we're doing until the next step.
And actually, also, you can go on my pages, Tommy Marr, and the Maverick Soul Hour with Tommy Marr. There are connections there. You can just clip on and join his Grimps page.
Great.
Because I have them on my pages. Even the Woodstock Guru page, you can go on that. I believe I have it on there also. For all my Woodstock people that have grandkids, I love you guys out there, and I know you guys are listening. So how much time do we have left? Maybe the Grimps could go to Woodstock. We have 2 minutes. So, Rich, if there's anything, I mean, I can't tell you what a pleasure it's been for me.
Same here.
I have had a great refurbishing of the brain, actually, by what you're doing, because it's so dormant and docile what's going on for these kids. I mean, I sit and wonder, even with my own grandkids, like, are they just going to be like numb and walk around like, thinking that there's people with square heads? And
well, you see, you don't sit down and watch cartoons with your grandchildren.
I do.
Oh, you do?
Oh, I don't.
I'm saying that this might be a way also where
now
people will do that. And I think
absolutely.
it really is going to be 3 generations. And,
absolutely.
And, they're going to enjoy the music and the stories and the characters. And
absolutely.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
Everybody's going to hear about the Grimps.
No question about it. I love it. I love the whole thing. I wish you all the best of luck, and whatever Madhouse we can do to help you along, we would love to be a part of any trails that you travel, because I'll tell you, I know you're going to be doing very well with this, because it's a revolution. I mean, it's a new thing, and that is so needed in this country, because it seems like the new talent is not having any talent. Unfortunately, it really is. Yeah. And you know what I'm talking about, these shows that are on. This is great. It's wonderful. So, again, we're going to be taking off. Next week, we have Vince Martell here again from the Vanilla Fudge with Peg Pearl, right on my stage, right here, live, in the Madhouse. So, my brother, Rich Sirgiovanni, you're going to see him take off and go on a path that is well-deserved, because he came up with a great idea, and I think it's going to be a whirlwind. So, we love you guys. We hopefully will see you next week back at our regular hour, 8 o'clock. And for myself and Rich, welcome to the Madhouse. You with the Maverick Soul, Tommy Marr. Have a beautiful week. Be at peace. Be safe. Love each other. Smile for somebody. It might change their day. You never know. You got to be in it. So have a good one. All right.
Thank you.
I will come over.